Welcome everyone to this session on autonomy and TA practice. So, this is the 11th week of our online one-on-one learning. Almost all the concepts in TA you have learned by now. Today we are going to learn about how are we going to practice this and why do we have to learn TA. So, why do we learn TA? The declared purpose of learning TA is to attain autonomy. This is as per the theory of TA. Autonomy is not defined in TA theory, but Byrne has described it. His description of autonomy is there are three qualities in autonomy. First and the most important is awareness. So, learning about the concepts and the theory gives us awareness about our scripts and our motivations. So, what do we do with this awareness? When we are able to move away from our script decisions to decisions appropriate to the time and place, or use all our ego states appropriately in different situations, that ability is called spontaneity. So, spontaneity is a component of autonomy. The third component of autonomy is described as intimacy. Intimacy is kind of regaining the childlike ability for open and honest interactions. In other words, it's giving up ulterior transactions. So, in small or large quantities, all of us have ulterior transactions. Please remember, ulterior transactions are what we do unaware. So, the more we develop awareness, the more we are able to give up our ulterior transactions. So, that means we will be using more congruent transactions. So, intimacy is a capacity to be congruent in your transactions and relationships with people. So, autonomy is described as the quality of awareness, spontaneity, and intimacy in a person. So, why we learn TA theory is the idea is we can all develop these qualities because once upon a time we were born with these qualities. In other words, this gives us mastery over our life. Mastery over our life gives us happy life. So, there are different areas in which TA is practiced depending on whatever professions we choose. One is the organizational or managerial TA practice. Another way is educational practice. Another is TA practice in counseling. Another is psychotherapy. So at this point, it's good to remember that this theory was developed from the crucible of psychotherapy and primarily for psychotherapy. But deeper understanding of the theory has enabled practitioners to apply this theory in counseling, education, and managerial work also. As you learn the advanced program, you will understand more details of this. The basic principles of TA practice are two. One is contractual. Contractual means when you practice TA, you make an agreement with the other person. That is contractual. For example, now we have learned ego states, stroking. So the contract would be if you want to give a feedback about the ego state of a person, you can ask that person. We all have, both of us have learned TA. So can I now give you a feedback on your ego states? Would you like to get a feedback from me on ego states? If that person wants, you can give. That is a contract. If that person says yes. But if that person says, I don't want, you don't have a contract to speak. So this is what contractual means. So the essence of contractual practice is built on the life position theory, where I am okay, you are okay is the most effective life position. So when the client and practitioner are okay, or the practitioner is able to perceive the client as okay like himself or herself, it's easy to make a contract. So this has to be mindful and kept in our mind when we practice any concept that we have learned. Even after one-on-one learning, if you want to openly discuss about others using TA terms, make it contractual. Another aspect of TA practice principle is open, honest transactions. So when you practice TA with others, keep away your ulterior transactions and practice honest transactions, what actually you feel or experience or what you want to say. So this is possible only by reflecting and responding instead of reacting. Now we look at how TA practice is useful for managers. First and the foremost is the manager's autonomy for good relationship with colleagues and other staff, for flexibility in function, for innovating management methods, integrating old and new methods, enjoying work as a manager. So these are all possible when the manager is autonomous. So autonomy we learned earlier. So TA practice for managers primarily is for the manager's autonomy. Managing people is practiced best when we are able to maintain okay life position. Ability to give strokes to others will be possible when we feel satisfied and sufficient. So that is possible by breaking our own stroke economy. So in the managerial role, appreciating colleagues and subordinates is a very important aspect of your work. Unless you are satisfied and happy, you may not be able to do it. So this can be practiced by breaking our stroke economy. TA practice for teachers or educators. It's also similar. The autonomy of the teacher is the most important advantage. That's necessary for good relationship with colleagues and other students, for flexibility in relating with others, teachers, other teachers or colleagues or students, in innovating educational methods, integrating old and new methods in work, and enjoying your work as teachers. Teaching is practiced best when we are able to maintain the okay life position with students. Or, in other words, when the teacher is able to perceive the student as an okay person, it's best to help the student learn and achieve his potentials. The ability to give strokes to students will be possible when we feel satisfied and sufficient. Again, it's possible by breaking our stroke economy, that is, self stroking, receiving, giving strokes, asking for strokes when needed, and rejecting unwanted strokes. What is special in TA practice for doctors? Again, primarily it is the doctor's autonomy. For good relationship with patients and colleagues, for flexibility in functioning, for innovating clinical methods, integrating old and new methods in clinical practice, enjoying work as doctors. Medicine is practiced best when doctors are able to maintain the okay life position with patients. Ability to communicate well with patients is high when okay life position is practiced. Giving strokes to colleagues is important for mutual encouragement and effective teamwork. No doctor can work without his team. So it's important to keep the team together by encouraging and giving strokes. These are all possible when doctors feel satisfied and sufficient within themselves. That is possible by breaking the doctor's stroke economy, again by self stroking, receiving, giving, and rejecting unwanted strokes. Now, in counseling and therapy, again the autonomy is the most important aspect. That is important for good relationship with clients and colleagues, for flexibility in functioning, being in the present with the client. The use of TA tools in counseling and therapy is a specific advantage or specific aspect of the practice of TA in counseling. It is open to the client's issue and explore with them if possible only when the therapist or the counselor is autonomous. Self-actualization or joyful work as counselors and therapists is possible if the counselor or therapist is autonomous. Thank you. I wish or I think you have had a good learning about why we need to practice TA. There are some more information on the TA organizational aspects which we will learn next week. See you next week.